register and submit the registration slip to the zoning administrator at this time. Following the hearing, we will conduct our monthly business meeting, at which time we will vote on the applications. You may stay and hear how the applications are decided, or you may leave following the hearing. The applicant and the town board will be sent a copy of tonight's decisions. Any other person wishing to receive a copy of the decision can sign the sheet on the table by the north doors. Those of you wishing immediate knowledge of the outcome of these proceedings may call the county zoning office tomorrow morning. The procedure will be followed for hearing each applicant is, after each applicant is read, the applicant, their agent, or representative will be asked to present their application, followed by any questions or comments from the committee. Then all correspondence will be read. Then others in favor will have a chance to speak. Anyone objecting will have a chance to speak. I will then ask for a summary from the committee's field observations and the staff comments. Finally, the applicant will be allowed a chance for a short rebuttal if they wish. Anyone wishing to speak should use the microphone, state their name, and direct their comments to the committee. I ask that all testimony be kept brief, no more than 5 minutes, and to the point. If you are testifying as a nearby landowner, please tell us where your property is located relative to the subject's property. Tonight's hearing will be recorded, and the recording will become part of the record. Comments that are based on hearsay or second-hand information, as well as slanderous or prejudicial remarks, will be ruled out of order. The committee has looked at all the properties, and the record will reflect their observations. Any person affected by an administrative decision of the committee has 10 days from the filing of tonight's decision to make an appeal. Such appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustments. Information and applications are available from the zoning office. The county assumes no liability, makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of the 10-day period. I will now introduce the committee. My far left, Joe Piaski, Larry Crawford, Fred Gallerup, Bob Wadle, Terry Dot Poxted, zoning administrator, and my name is Mark Kirschner. The first application we will hear tonight is a conditional use. John Ashcraft, doing business as Fox Valley Recycling and Torching, LLC, Amro, Wisconsin, Emil and Barb Brewmeister, landowners, has made application for a conditional use in accordance with sections 58-236, paragraph 6, and 58-784, paragraph 23 of the Waushara County Zoning Code to reestablish a salvage yard, utilizing an existing 45 by 73 pole building and a 17 by 42 office, 24 by 30 shop, and a 22 by 32 garage in the MI intensive manufacturing zone. Location: 2 parcels combined, being part of 1.75 acres in size, including Lot 2 of Certified Survey Map number 1141, and being part of the west half of the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter, south of RR right of way, including Lot 2 of Certified Survey Map 1141, Section 35, Town 19 North, Range 10 East, Town of Wautoma. Fire number W7870, State Road 21 and 73. Is the applicant present? Would the applicant please come up here and state your name for the record, please?
John Ashcraft.
John, can you give us a little summary of what you're going to be doing out there?
I want to open it up and make a recycling center, take aluminum cans, sheet iron car bodies, cast, aluminum, just buy all non-ferrous, ferrous metals, recycle them, whatever I got to do to prepare them to haul them in, to the bigger yards, to the shredder.
The committee will probably have a few questions here for you, John. Committee questions, please.
Yes, we have a few for you. Has there been a recent survey of the parcel, and do you know where the lot lines are?
Yes.
Pardon me, you want to step up here also and state your name for the record so that we know?
Emil Burmeister. My brother had owned this prior to him passing away last year in August.
You can stay there, John, just in case they have something else.
And you told us a little bit about the operation. Can you tell us a little bit more detail? Are you going to do any dismantling cars, selling parts, or anything like that? Or-
No, I'm not gonna sell any parts. The dismantling, I would say 90% of it, I'm gonna ship to my Armro location. You know, and do it there because I'm all set up for it. So just take them here and pretty much load them, haul them back to my other yard.
We noticed there's a travel trailer on the property. Will that be removed before you start your operation?
Yes.
How many employees do you anticipate will be needed during the peak times of the operation?
4 to 5.
What sort of traffic do you anticipate? For example, how many people will visit, how many trucks pull in, and stuff like that per week? Or is it similar to your Amro
Similar, yeah,
operation?
probably to that. I would say, I mean, I've had a few as 5 in a day up to 20, 30, 50 a day, you know.
And you said you weren't planning on any sales or parts or salvage of any automobiles or tires or any of that stuff from the cars you bring in?
No.
You planning on any new signs?
I'd probably see about putting one on the building, or I guess there's one out front right now, an empty sign.
Are you planning to build and maintain suitable fencing around the entire property?
Yes.
Will any driveways be altered, or are you closing any driveways? And is there an existing secondary driveway off 152 to the parcel?
No.
Driveway doesn't go through. You're going to change the driveways at all? You're going to use what's existing?
Yep.
You talked to the DOT about whether any permits are needed to accommodate any driveway changes? Or you got big enough room to get trucks in there and everything?
Yeah, it's big enough to get. I never talked to him, but I know it's big enough to get them in.
Have you talked to the DOT about permits for the salvage operation?
Yeah, that's why I'm here, because we got to go through all these steps, and you're one step before. Then I got to go to the town, and then to them.
Has the operation, the commercial recycling operation, been operating at the site at all?
Not within a year.
And the auto and metal salvaging has been discontinued for several years, right?
About 6 years ago, my brother got sick, and he kind of left all the licenses lapse. That's why we're having to do this over now. So, really, in the last 6 years, it hasn't done a lot.
And you're aware of all the state licensing and requirements that are necessary to operate this?
Yes.
Obviously, it must be with your other place.
Yep.
How do you plan to deal with any stormwater runoff from the area?
I deal with Storm Tech. I'm gonna have him come in there and, you know, see what the plan is. He'll draw a plan up and everything, what we gotta do.
Are there any chemicals that are stored in association with this operation? And if so, are you aware of the permits and restrictions for storing them?
Yeah, it would just be, if anything, oil. But
And-
like I said, I plan on taking everything back to my Armro location, so.
And how will you dispose of your toxic and hazardous waste materials and waste products? That'll all go through AMRO?
Yeah, we don't have any hazard, you know, toxic or anything like that.
Have you talked with the local fire department or fire marshal and know what the requirements are needed out there?
No, I haven't talked to none of them yet.
I suggest you talk to the fire department, see what sort of sanitary facilities are going to be on site?
Right now, I'm gonna have a outhouse, and then, we'll use the bar as of right now.
By outhouse, do you mean porta potty?
I'm sorry.
I didn't see an outhouse there when we were there.
No, not yet.
Are you planning any additions or any other buildings planned other than what you've indicated in the site plan?
Not as of right now, no.
Will you be bringing in any new equipment for the operation?
Yeah.
Like, what do you,
Crane loader.
scale going to stay the same or new scale?
Well, there's a scale there, so I'm gonna see if I can get that recertified and working.
Have you checked with the building inspector to see if there are any inspections you need to meet the state building codes?
I haven't done any of that yet.
Another one for you.
Yeah.
Are you aware of the setbacks that are required by our code, and will these all be met? I think we talked a little bit about that, how far from the lot lines and
Yes.
setbacks from the roads
Or-
and property lines.
Well, there's,
We talked about it, but we decided they weren't gonna be met.
yeah, they weren't, they'll meet the 100-foot setback, but there's some other setbacks that we gotta talk about, or,
The setbacks are actually listed as 600 feet from a public road and 100 feet from all property lines. And we're, no, and we don't meet the 600 feet from the road either. If there's an approval, you would have to get a variance approval from the County Board of Adjustments
okay.
to operate.
So if approval is granted tonight, how long before you'll be operation, would you think? You got a few more steps to go through, but
Yeah, it's probably because the DOT takes a good month and a half, so I would say I'd like to have it by December 1st.
as soon as you can get it turned
Yeah,
around.
as soon as they give me an okay, yeah.
Okay, that's all the questions I got.
Any other committee questions? Anybody have anything? Okay, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Correspondence, Terry.
We have no correspondence. I did mention to the committee that we had a letter from the town board, and we did not. I did tell Jeff Nett about the application, and he didn't really respond one way or another. I don't know if it was discussed at the town board meeting, but we didn't receive any correspondence, so.
Okay, anyone to speak in favor or object?
No one to speak in favor or to object, but we do have two people that want to appear and speak for information only.
Wait a minute, Ellen Caswell and William Kalk? No? You're fine? State your name for the record, please.
Ellen Caswell, I live on W 7849 State Highway 152. If there's waste materials, I understand oils would be taken out of these autos back at the Amro plant? Yes. What about Freons?
Okay, yeah, he can't be answering.
You can ask your
Okay,
questions,
well-
and
You
he
can ask
can,
your questions, and we'll
he
get
can,
into
he
that.
can
when we-
make notes, and he can tell you that in
He can
his
do that.
rebuttal.
I guess our biggest concern was to make sure that all the DNR rules as far as waste materials that shouldn't be going into the air are followed.
All right, thank you, Ellen. Next one is David Johnson. State your name for the record, please.
Name is David Johnson. I'm here representing my mother, Ellen Johnson, and myself. I have some concerns. I'm not against it, but I would like to see some improvements made. Number one is the fence is in really bad shape. They need to put a whole new fence around, and I believe it should be plenty high, at least 8 foot, so nobody can see in. I mean, you got, Wautoma's a nice place, and you don't need to have something that isn't looking nice. And the other concern was about pollution. Now, my mother was in the town of Wautoma. Now she is in the city of Wautoma. And that was because benzene was found in the water. She had to take it to Oshkosh and get it certified and everything and that. And we're not saying where it come from, but with this new operation, we'd like to make sure there's safeguards in place. Have the DNR contacted and check everything. So, and then the other thing is what kind of hours? Is this going to be a slam bam thing till 12 o'clock at night? Or is it going to be like a 6 to 6 operation? We got some concern about that with the noise factor. So if they can answer that and do that, that would be fine. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, No one, anyone to speak for no? Staff comments, please.
For the record, the committee has previously been furnished with a copy of the site plan and all the other pertinent data for this application. There are 2 other applications, but they will be zone changes, and I'll talk about those then. At this time, I'd like to explain a little bit about a conditional use permit. All defined zones have uses that are permitted outright. As a matter of fact, the commercial recycling is permitted on this property. And then there's also uses that may be permitted provided certain conditions or parameters can be met. And that's what we're looking at here with the auto salvage. It's something that can be permitted provided there's enough conditions put on it that it still remains in keeping with the surrounding uses and area. In some counties, these permits are called special exception permits, and it's a little easier to wrap your brain around that language than a conditional use. It's the landowner's responsibility to provide the information that shows the committee this use is still in keeping with the zone and area it is proposed for, and that the conditions placed on it will ensure it will be a good neighbor to the surrounding property owners. As I stated before and was stated in the application, this property is already zoned IM or intensive manufacturing, and that is the proper zoning classification for such an operation. There's permitted and conditional uses that will both be done here, but that is the proper zoning for that, and that's already in place. Looks to me like this was done way back when the town adopted zoning in 1968. So I'm guessing that there was a salvage yard there then, and that they recognized that there was a salvage yard, it was a suitable location for it, and it was probably going to continue in operation for many years to come. When the committee visited the property, they noted that some of the fencing does need to be repaired and or replaced. Certainly there should be normal working hours. That should help protect the neighboring landowners from some of the noise and other distractions that might happen with the operation. They also noted that the travel trailer should be removed, and that there are certainly a multitude of other agency regulations that the applicant would need to comply with. That's it for my comments.
Would the applicant like to have a rebuttal to maybe answer some questions?
With the hours, we'd be open from 8 to 5, so I would say, 7 to 6 by the time the guys get there. Start up machines, warm up machines or whatever, time we get out of there. So, that would be...
You're talking 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
Right. It would be 8 to 5, but, give an hour on each side for the employees, park equipment, start equipment or whatever in the morning. With the pollution... I didn't quite hear what the gentleman said about what was in the water or whatever, but we're regulated by the Storm Tech, which is a water runoff. They inspect us every year, make sure we're complying, with the DNR. I think there already has been some test wells put on the property, and they're clean. They come back clean, but we are regulated, with all that water runoff, and they want you to do so many steps a year. If something comes up new, they'll ask you to do it, and you got it, so long to comply with it and stuff. So, whatever we have to do to make it work for not just me, but for everybody. I know there's houses around there, and I don't want to be an enemy. I want to work with them or whatever we got to do. So.
You had mentioned some kind of containment facilities that are usually required. Can you expound on that?
Yeah,
when
with
we were out there?
if you start if you had turnings that have fluids in them, they'd have you put a concrete slab down with a concrete berm around it for it can't run off. It's got to stay there. You got to pump it. I don't even deal with them. It ain't worth it.
Oh, okay.
With the fence, like I mentioned, I want to cut all the trees down, leave the trees by the fence. Then whatever fence we have to fix, we will fix. In the near future, I'd like to put up them, what are they? I think they're 6 foot long by 2 foot block wall all the way around it. Not going to say it's going to happen right away, but I'd like to do it because I think that helps for both of us, Keeps everybody out, and then I think it helps with the noise too, so.
All right.
Thank you.
John. Okay. Next application that we'll hear, zone change. Black Hawk Marine Incorporated, Watoma, Wisconsin, has made application for a zone change in accordance with sections 58-131 through 138 and 58-663, paragraph 3 of the Waushara County Zoning Code from an AG, General Agricultural, to a CS, Commercial Service, to a conditional expand an existing boat dock, trailer, and related item sales and service business, with proposed construction of a 60 by 153 pole building for inventory storage. Location, an approximate 4.4 acre parcel of land known as Lot Number 1 of Certified Survey Map Number 4060, an approximate 2.5 acre parcel of adjacent land, all being part of the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter and part of the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter, Section 1, Town 18 North, Range 10 East, Town of Dakota. Fire number W7461, State Road 21 and 73. Is the applicant present? Would you please come forward? Would you state your name for the record, please?
Doug Batra.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit what's...
Excuse me, could you spell the last name, please?
B-O-E-T-T-C-H-E-R.
B-O,
E as in Elmer.
okay, B-O-E,
T-T-C-H-E-R.
okay, got it, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your plans are and everything?
Well, eventually, I'd like to put another building up besides the little storage building that we put up now. I'd like it zoned commercial so that if we expand the business, I have an option of putting another building back there, either as a showroom if we expand into other areas, TVs, whatever it might be, and so we can have a showroom back there, because right now, with the way we've grown in the last 11 years, we're kind of limited on space where we are.
The committee has a few questions for you. Committee questions, please?
Okay. How many employees do you have during peak times?
15 or 16.
And what sort of traffic do you have at the front buildings
Per day, or
per day?
depending on the season, 40, 50 cars a day.
And the new building and the surrounding areas are mainly planned for storage or inventory and customers' products. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are any more advertising signs planned? No. Have you contacted the state building inspector and know what codes you have to meet? Yes. Are any other additions or buildings planned other than the one that is indicated on the site plan?
Not at this moment, no.
Do you store all your products inside, or do you have outside storage of boats, piers, or docks for customers or inventory?
No outside storage for customers. I do have outside storage for our own products.
And will that will continue to be the
Yes.
case? Okay. We noted there's quite a bit of inventory on display. Just a minute. Okay. Near the highway, out on the right-of-way, will the new building alleviate some of the congestion and remove some of those products from the right-of-way?
Probably not, because that's the high visibility point, and we lease the land next door from Campbell for display along their property also, that lot there. In our business, visibility is everything.
Has DOT ever said anything about not keeping stuff in the right-of-way?
We can go up to the telephone poles, is what they had told us. We can't
It-
go
it-
forward of the,
it-
we can't go in the ditch, for instance.
It did appear there was some things that were forward of the telephone poles when we were there.
It's a possibility.
Okay,
It's supposed to be from behind the telephone poles
okay.
is where we're supposed to keep product.
What about winter storage of customers' products in your own inventory? Will that be inside or outside?
We lease a building up in Wild Rose, and we also lease a building from Campbell. So
So-
that it's inside.
Most of it will be undercover. You are aware that there are wetlands on the property. Do you know what measures you will need to take to protect those both during and after construction?
Yes. We had the DNR and the Army Corps of Engineers were there and flagged the areas, and we have to stay 50 feet away from those areas, which we comply with.
Okay. Has there been a recent survey on that property?
Yes, when we purchased it in May, June, I'm not sure.
And
Yes.
you know therefore where all the lot lines are? The limits of your property, okay. That's it. Those are questions I have to ask.
Did the survey just do the parcels that were there, or did it combine it into one piece? It looked to me like there were several parcels that kind of got lumped together.
I think what happened, which I wasn't aware of, I think they have it as one parcel now. When I purchased it, it was, well, it wasn't a parcel because it was part of another
Right.
group of land, but I think it's under one parcel now.
It's under one parcel number, but I don't know if there was a survey done of the,
Well, when we
Whole thing?
purchased the original property, there was a survey done, that would have been done a year ago, March. And then the survey on the new property would have been done when we purchased it in May.
Okay. Any other committee questions?
I guess what type of sanitary facilities do you have now, or are you planning on for the building?
Nothing on the rezoning area. There won't be any power facilities as far as bathrooms, nothing like that.
You have existing in the front one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other committee questions? Okay, thank you very much. Correspondence?
we received a letter on September 11th, addressed to me, Dear Zoning Administrator, the Town of Dakota Board of Supervisors, on the recommendation of the Land Use Planning Commission, would like to approve the zone change request by Blackhawk Marine. And that's signed sincerely, Barbara Straczynski, clerk. That's it for correspondence, and no one registered to speak in favor or in opposition
Or information?
or information.
Staff comments, please.
Again, the committee received all the copies of the site plan and everything in the packet for this and the other zone change that they were considering tonight. To explain a little bit more about zone changes, a zone change needs to be considered as a permanent change to the property. In this case, I believe it's going from general agricultural to CS, or commercial service. That's going to allow a different set of permitted and conditional uses out there. So it's more of a permanent change to the property that the committee and then the county board and the town board all look at it. It's a three-step process. It starts here tonight with a public hearing. If the Planning and Zoning Committee recommends an approval, it goes to the full county board, and then finally it does go to the town board for approval. A marina is a permitted use in the CS zone. I'm not sure other retail sales would be, so just because we're changing the zone to CS doesn't mean you can sell anything. So we might have to look at a conditional use at that time if you expand into snowmobiles, or I don't remember what else you said, but other products that don't fit under the marina umbrella. So just so you're aware of that. And this operation has been there for a while and really wants to expand their facilities to the south with more storage. This really mirrors exactly what the marina on the other side of the road did a few years back. So we had zone changes there where they expanded further to the north, and you're going further to the south. When the committee visited the property, they noted that there is good visibility at the driveway location, provided all the structures and products on display will meet that road setback and be out of the road right away. And they also noted this is a natural expansion of an existing business, and it certainly does appear that more storage is needed out there. That's it for my comments.
Okay. Is there anything else the applicant would like to add? Okay. All right, thank you. Next application that we will hear tonight, John Caves, Coloma, Wisconsin, has made application for a zone change in accordance with sections 58-131 through 138 and 58-663, paragraph 3 of the Waushara County Zoning Code from an OP, Park and Recreation, to a CG, General Commercial, to conditionally establish a repair and maintenance business for farm machinery, trucks, and trailers utilizing an existing 60 by 80 building containing office and shop space. Location, an approximate 1.53 acre parcel of land known as Lot Number 1 of Certified Survey Map Number 4752, being part of the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter, Section 23, Town 18 North, Range 8 East, Town of Coloma. Fire number N1174, Fifth Road. Is the applicant present? Would you come forward, please? Would you state your name for the record, please?
John Caves.
Can you tell us a little bit about your business, John?
It's just a small business. We repair farm equipment mostly. We have a contract with a canning company. We do sweet corn harvesters and all the equipment for this company in the state of Wisconsin.
Committee questions, please?
Your primary work is with farm machinery, trucks and trailers, and right?
Yes.
Could you describe how your affiliation with a commercial harvesting company works?
They're not from in the state, but they do custom work in the state of Wisconsin. So we are hired from them to take care of all their maintenance and stuff for the equipment to do their custom combining here in Wisconsin. So anything related to that, we have probably 4 or 5 combines and all the dump carts, all the trailers and stuff to make that operation go for the 3 months that they're up here doing that. We spend the whole year getting it in shape for the following year again.
And then you had
That's-
mentioned that you store it over the
Yeah,
winter
all
then
that-
too?
And also all that equipment on that contract stays at my place year round.
Will there be any other employees outside of the immediate family?
I have one employee, yes.
What sort of traffic do you anticipate, what sort of parking do you think you'll need?
We don't have much traffic, just us coming to work. Like I said, they're here for a couple months and they're gone. We do a little bit of other work for some people in town to help them out, but none to speak of.
Is there any advertising signs planned?
No, we have one sign on the building. That's about all, just to show that that's our building.
Have you contacted the state building inspector and know what codes you'll need to meet?
That was all done when I got the property and to the bank.
What sort of sanitary facilities exist here or are planned?
There's the bathroom in it. It was all set up before I got there.
That was in the building when you bought it, correct?
Yes, it was all set up commercial.
Are there any other additions or buildings planned other than what is indicated on the site plan? No. Will all activities be inside? No business or products stored outside?
Yeah, all the machinery will be outside.
Will you do body work or air conditioning work? Will you have vehicles and machinery waiting to serve or pick up outside?
Yes.
How many vehicles or machines are parked outside at any one time?
Probably 4 to 5 combines. Probably a dozen semi-trailers. Probably a dozen dump carts. And we're talking maybe 4 tractors.
Now, all of that storage will take place in the fenced-in area in the back?
Yes. The property is fenced in 6-foot 3 wire with one entrance.
You really have no one, like in the front of the building where we parked,
No.
unless they're coming to pay a bill or drop somebody off to pick up a vehicle or drop something off, or, you will have some customer traffic there, but not, but machinery won't get parked there, okay.
Is all your storage behind the chain link fence that surrounds the property except for the front parking lot. Will there be any for sale here? Any, will you be selling anything?
No, I don't sell it.
Has there been a recent survey, and do you know where the lot lines are?
Yes, I do know where the lot lines are, and I'm not exact date, but we have all that survey here.
That's all I had.
John, you do some repair work for some of the, you mentioned for some of the other businesses in town around the area?
Yes, actually, our believe it or not, our slow time is in the summer when the harvesting is going. So we do take a lot of work on then too, or what we can to keep the doors open. So yes, we do help out a handful of people. But
Any other committee questions for John? Fred or Larry? Joe?
No.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, correspondence, please.
We received a letter this evening from the town of Coloma addressed to the Waushara County Planning Adjustment Committee regarding John Caves, and it says the town of Coloma has no objections to the zone change for the property located at N1174 Fifth Road, town of Coloma, Waushara County, Wisconsin. Property owner is John Caves. John Caves has been in the building for the last 2 years and works on farm machinery and miscellaneous equipment for other businesses. We feel this is a good asset for the town of Coloma and wish John best of luck. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and that's signed sincerely, Mark Kirschner, Town of Coloma Chairman. That's it.
That's all for
That's
correspondence?
all for correspondence, and no one registered to speak.
Nobody register in favor, opposition, or information. Staff comments, please.
Well, we're looking at another zone change here, so remember, this is a more permanent change to the land and what it can be used for. This started out as a building that they constructed. It was kind of an adjunct to the campground, and they just did travel trailer repair and sales while it was part of the campground. So it did have a conditional use, and the zoning never changed from OP, which is what campgrounds would be zoned. It's an open space park and recreation zone. So this kind of business where you have truck and farm machinery repair, it certainly was in demand, and the business seems to be flourishing, but it's not quite the right zone to have this business in. So we're coming here tonight to try to get that all straightened out. We need the business that survived and did well there to get into the right zone and in alignment with what is developed. Obviously, the town board doesn't have a problem with it, and you know, it certainly appears to me commercial development is creeping out of the village limits all the time, so this is kind of a natural progression of that. When the committee visited the property, they noted that the back and sides of the building will be fully fenced. The bulk of the business is seasonal, with the commercial harvesters being maintained and stored during the off-season, and that traffic will be relatively light overall. The visibility is good at the highway entrance, and the only parking in front of the building should be visitors or vehicles carrying people to drop off or pick up farm equipment or machinery. And that's it for my comments.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, John? Okay, thank you. Okay, that concludes our applications tonight. Next thing on the agenda is a roll call. Are you ready, Bob?
Got it.
Okay, roll call showing that everybody is here. Need approval of the agenda.
Second?
Motion made by Larry, seconded by Fred to approve the agenda in front of you. Any questions or